The story of King Arthur. Valuable lessons for today's businesses. In the history of Britain, few characters are as mysterious and fascinating as the legendary King Arthur. His stories are full of adventure, magic, knights, and noble values. But the story of King Arthur also contains valuable lessons for today's businesses. In this video, we will explore the life and legend of King Arthur and discover what we can learn from his actions and teachings. So, grab your sword and join us on this exciting journey. Firstly, who was King Arthur? Before we dive into the epic stories of King Arthur, let's get to know a little about his real life. Although it's difficult to distinguish fact from fiction, it's believed that King Arthur ruled Britain during the late 5th and early 6th centuries. He led the British forces against the invasions of the Anglo-Saxons, and his name was recorded in various medieval chronicles. However, many details of his life are based on legends and myths that developed over the centuries. The legend of King Arthur. The story of King Arthur is full of legends and myths. One of the legends is that of the Round Table, a table where the knights sat on equal footing, without hierarchy or privileges. One of the most famous is the story of Excalibur, a magical weapon that could only be pulled out of a stone by someone who was the true king of Britain. And of course, there's the figure of the wizard Merlin, who helped Arthur in his battles and adventures. Leadership lessons from King Arthur. But more than legends and myths, the story of King Arthur contains valuable lessons for today's leaders. For example, Arthur was known for his ability to gather people from different backgrounds and interests, forming a united and cohesive team. He was also brave and fair, always putting the needs of his people first. These are qualities that every good leader should have. Teachings of King Arthur for business. In addition, the story of King Arthur teaches us about important values that can be applied to today's businesses. For example, the idea of the Round Table reminds us of the importance of equality and collaboration in a team. The quest for Excalibur reminds us of the importance of setting clear goals and working hard to achieve them. And the battle against the Anglo-Saxons reminds us of the importance of being prepared to face challenges and adversities. But let's explore this all in more details. Applying the teachings of King Arthur to modern business. The teachings of King Arthur are not limited to the world of medieval knights and chivalry. In fact, his leadership and values can be applied to modern-day business practices. For example, one of King Arthur's most famous quotes is, "Might does not make right." This means that just because someone has more power or resources, it doesn't mean they are in the right. This lesson is particularly relevant in today's business world, where companies often compete ruthlessly to gain market share or dominate their industry. By remembering this lesson, business leaders can prioritize fairness and ethical behavior over simply trying to win at any cost. Another important lesson from King Arthur is the value of teamwork and collaboration. In the story, Arthur was able to achieve great feats not only because of his own skills, but also because of the loyalty and support of his knights. In business, this means building a strong team and fostering a collaborative culture where everyone works together towards a common goal. By valuing the contributions of all team members and creating a supportive work environment, businesses can achieve greater success and overcome challenges more easily. Finally, King Arthur's story teaches us the importance of strategic planning and decision-making. Arthur was faced with many difficult decisions throughout his reign, and his success depended on his ability to weigh the options carefully and make the best choice for his kingdom. In business, this means taking the time to research and analyze options before making important decisions. It also means being willing to adapt and change course when necessary, just as Arthur did when he realized his trusted advisor was betraying him. By taking a strategic approach to decision-making and being willing to pivot when necessary, businesses can increase their chances of long-term success. By applying these lessons from King Arthur to modern-day business, we can build more successful and ethical companies that prioritize teamwork, strategic planning, and fairness. So, let's all strive to be modern-day knights, and use the teachings of King Arthur to inspire our actions and decisions. Reflections on King Arthur's actions. King Arthur was faced with many difficult decisions throughout his reign. One of the most famous examples is when he had to decide whether to spare the life of his best friend and most trusted advisor, Lancelot, after he had an affair with Arthur's wife, Guinevere. Arthur had to weigh his loyalty to his friend against his duty as king to uphold justice and punish wrongdoers. In the end, he chose to spare Lancelot's life, but the decision had far-reaching consequences. By sparing Lancelot, Arthur lost the respect of some of his knights and created a rift in his kingdom. This decision ultimately led to his downfall, as his enemies took advantage of the situation to launch an attack on his kingdom. However, despite the negative consequences, Arthur's decision to spare Lancelot was motivated by his belief in forgiveness and redemption. He recognized that even the best people can make mistakes and deserve a chance to make amends. This story reminds us that sometimes, as business leaders, we are faced with difficult decisions that require us to balance competing interests and priorities. It's important to take the time to reflect on our values and principles, and make decisions that align with them, even if they are not the easiest or most popular choices. By staying true to our beliefs and being willing to take responsibility for our decisions, we can build a reputation for fairness and integrity that will serve us well in the long run. Whether it's deciding whether to launch a controversial product or how to handle a difficult employee, the lessons of King Arthur remind us that our choices and actions have consequences. By taking a thoughtful and principled approach to decision-making, we can build stronger businesses and earn the trust and respect of our customers, employees, and stakeholders. The story of King Arthur is one of the most fascinating and inspiring in Britain's history. His adventures and teachings have much to teach us about leadership, values, and success in today's businesses. So, as King Arthur himself would ask, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel. Don't miss any of our upcoming adventures, and join us on this exciting journey towards success. We hope this video has been helpful and inspiring for you all. A cosmic hug and see you next time.